wanna be looking at some shitty ass songs? Nah, no songs now. I'm gonna look at J Nation's Girlfriend today. Mate, I'm J Nation's Deaf Girlfriend, the Ouija board challenge. This.
Hey everyone, it's Mike Chen. One of the greatest mysteries in life is what happens after.
Guys, I'm gonna be making a stream probably next week, I think.
Or the other place. Some believe we don't go anywhere at all. But one thing we can all agree on is that after someone dies, they usually don't come back. I say usually because I don't want to offend all the vampires, zombies, and ghosts out there, but sometimes people have actually came back from the dead without the need to feed on brains or glow all sparkling in the sun. So here are some incredible cases of people who were thought to be dead, but miraculously came back to life. Number 1, the Brazilian boy. Okay, this one is simply heartbreaking. According to the Brazilian TV network SBT, 2-year-old Calvin Santos suffered complications from pneumonia at a hospital in the northern Brazilian city of Belém. He was pronounced dead at 7:40 p.m. on a Friday. His body was then given to his grieving family, who held an open casket wake for him later that night. Those who attended the wake say the dead boy began to stir and move inside the casket, and right before his funeral was supposed to take place, Calvin sat up in his casket and asked his dad for some water. The boy's father, Antonio Santos, said, "Everybody started to scream. We couldn't believe our eyes. Then we thought a miracle had taken place and our boy had come back to life. Then Calvin just laid back down the way he was. We couldn't wake him. He was dead again." Calvin was again rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead a second time. And this time, he did not wake back up. Number 2, Chinese woman comes back to life and cooks herself a meal. 95-year-old Liu Xiufeng was found on the ground of her home by a neighbor a couple of weeks after she fell and hit her head. The neighbor Chen Xinguang said, "She didn't get up, so I came to wake her up. No matter how hard I pushed her and called her name, she had no reaction. I felt something was wrong, so I tried her breath and she has gone, but her body is still not cold." Because Li lived alone, Ms. Chen and her son took it upon themselves to prepare her funeral according to local Chinese customs. This meant that Li was to be laid in a coffin and not buried for several days until family and friends had time to pay their respects. Luckily that happened because a day before she was to be buried, the coffin was found to be empty. So of course, everybody started freaking out and went looking for her. Guess where they found her? In the kitchen, cooking herself a meal. Li then reportedly told the villagers, "I slept for a long time. After waking up, I felt so hungry and wanted to cook something to eat." The only unfortunate thing is that, also according to local customs, all of Li's possessions were burned because everyone thought she was dead. Number 3, dead waiter wakes up at his own funeral. A 28-year-old waiter named Hamdi Hafez Al-Nubi from Egypt suffered a heart attack at work and was pronounced dead. According to Islamic tradition, his body was washed first before he was to be buried. Right before he was going to be lowered into the ground, a doctor was there to sign